Okay, so today in this video, I would love to share some kind of personal experiences that I've had so far in the past 2 to 6 months because I started working. I got a job at some point at the end of last year, and there have been quite a lot of discrepancies in between the kind of expectations that I had when I first came to Germany and the actual experiences that I've had. And so I want to clarify some of the confusions that you also might have if you are also, like me, an international student who just completed their studies and looking for a job or having found a job already. Let me give you some details about my personal experience this past couple months. I did finish my studies in October. I did submit my thesis in July though, but I got the official document of the certificate of graduation in October 2025. In the meantime, I got a job and I started working as of, I think the 1st of November last year in 2025. And so the first thing first had to be done, the visa situation. My biggest question that I had at that time when I just got the job was that if I have to change my visa type to something else or not, because I still have the student visa, but I wasn't really sure if I can still start working with it and then change it to something else. Because when I first came to Germany, I was told that once I complete my studies, I have to basically change the visa type from the student visa to a something else, job seekers visa. That was not what I actually did experience because last year, actually not last year, 2024, sometime in November, I had to extend my student visa because I still hadn't finished my studies at the time, so I needed a little bit more time to finish it. So I went to the Ausländerbehörde with a friend of mine who's from Berlin. And my expectation at the time was probably getting 6 months or maybe maximum 1 year for the extended student visa. But to my surprise, I actually got 3 years. And then the person that I was talking with at the Ausländerbehörde basically explained to me that once I finish my studies, everything is completed. I don't have to come back to the Ausländerbehörde to change my visa type to the job seekers visa. Once I complete everything, I get my certificate of graduation. I can, as long as I have a job, as long as I have some kind of contract, I can start working immediately without changing my visa type. But since this regulation has been changed pretty recently and I didn't know anyone else before me who actually didn't change their visa type and started working, because in the past you definitely had to change your visa type from your student visa to a job seekers visa to actually start working. And then after your probation period, you can change it to another visa type, which is work visa. But now I was told that I don't have to come to the Ausländerbehörde once I complete my studies. And I was a little confused. Like, what do you mean by that? I don't have to come back. I don't have to do anything with my visa or what, you know? So what happened was I actually did try to make an appointment with the foreigner's office. And I told them, hey, I just finished my studies and I actually got a job and I will get the contract pretty soon. I would like to change my visa type to something else. And what happened? They rejected my appointment. They said, no, we already told you, you don't have to come back. You can just start working right now with your student visa that you have, just don't come. Fast forward, as of 1st of November in 2025, I started working with my student visa. I didn't have to do anything with my visa type because as far as I understood, my student visa was automatically changed to a job seekers visa. And in the meantime, I'm still working with the visa that I have had since I was a student. Another thing though, I'm still in my probation, so I don't have to do anything with my visa type according to the Ausländerbehörde. But once I finish my probation period, I definitely do have to change my visa type from the one that I have to a work visa. So that I definitely have to do. I still haven't made an appointment with the foreigner's office yet, but around the time that my probation ends, probably sometime in April or May, I will definitely make an appointment. I will try to get my work visa so I can have the smooth transition from the probation period person to a full-time worker. So in conclusion, in Frankfurt, as far as I understand, once you complete your studies as long as you get a job upon the completion of your studies, you can start working without doing anything with your visa type. At some point when your public site ends, you definitely have to change your visa to a work visa, but that's obviously in the future. Like if your probation period is 6 months or 3 months even, you can basically do that later. I think it's actually a really good thing that government took care of. I mean, I can also understand that, especially in Frankfurt, there are quite a lot of international people living here, quite a lot of expats. So the applications in terms of the visa or just any kind of a, bureaucratic things, I'm sure the amount of applications that they get every day, every week, every month is massive. On the other hand, there are not many people who can actually work on all those applications. So I can understand why they changed the rule, which is also good for them and also good for me as well, because I didn't have to go to the foreigner's office to change anything. I was actually able to start working with my visa that I've already had. And so that is a good thing. And also another question that I actually personally had when I got a job around the time that I finished my master's is the interpretation of upon the completion of your studies. So when I extended my visa, I got a paper which is called Zusatzblatt, and it says upon the successful completion of your studies, you can start working. And then my friends and I were basically confused, like, what does this mean? Does this mean as soon as we submit the thesis, we can start working? Or do we still have to wait for the completion of the documents, the graduation certificate or the transcript of records? Do we have to wait for all the papers to be able to start working, or just simple submission of your thesis is enough? The answer, I don't know. I haven't had this conversation before because, like I said in the past, you definitely had to change your visa type to a job seeker's visa. This is pretty recent change that had happened in Frankfurt. Again, other states, other cities, I'm pretty sure they have their own rules, so you definitely have to do your own research. But as far as I understand, in Frankfurt, that's the way it is right now. Once you finish your studies, you can start working. But again, the interpretation wasn't very clear when I finished my studies. But from my understanding, when I was talking with the HR people from the company that I am working for right now, is that you definitely do need the certificate of graduation to prove that you have completed everything, you have finished everything. Now you can actually start working. So I understand that if you also got the same statement in your Zusatzblatt, it could be confusing. You don't really know what this means, what this really can be interpreted into. But from my understanding with the conversation that I had with my HR people is that you do need the document from the university to prove that you finished everything. Then you are pretty much free to start working anywhere if you get the contract done, or that's my understanding. I hope this video was somehow helpful for anyone out there in Frankfurt or Hessen area who's confused. When can I start working? Can I actually start working with my student visa? I don't know what to do with this. I really hope this video was some kind of a helpful clarification for your confusion. Like I said, I still have to change my visa type from the student visa / job seekers visa to a work visa at some point in April or May. So I will definitely give you some more updates on that, some more details on that. Hopefully this year I will come back with more tips and more details in terms of my life and the kind of things that I do in Germany, especially in Frankfurt, in Hessen area. So yeah, please keep an eye on this channel, and I will definitely see you later in my channel. Tschüss!